All right, welcome on in. I am on time tonight, albeit just barely after getting home from work. I'm looking forward to a Socratic Sunday this evening, though. Hey, Yvonne, how's it going? Looking forward to a Socratic Sunday this evening. I am probably going to start with the news, but we'll see where we go from there. Decided to not sleep the entire night and still go to work. That is generally a questionable decision. I'm not saying I haven't done it. In point of fact, I woke up at midnight last night and went to work and just got home, so can't really talk shit on that one. Okay. Yeah, so I am very much pushing on till the end of the stream and then going to bed fairly soon afterwards. But that should be at least a few hours down the line. I have my coffee here. Here's hoping that works to keep me going. Okay, why am I making noise out of my phone? There we go. Woke up around 5 p.m. and won't fall asleep around 3 a.m., so there's a big chance you'll sleep over work because you need to go to work at 9 a.m. Oof. Oof. Yeah, been there. Better to stay awake all night. Yeah, I've definitely made that decision once or twice in my day. It definitely gets harder as you get older. I was working at a local farm last year, doing my third 14-hour shift in a row, and I was like, this shit was easier when I was 18. Not easy, mind you. Like, it was never easy, but it's definitely easier, and I recovered quicker. But yeah, I have absolutely made the, like, okay, I've been awake long enough that I can't go to sleep or I will oversleep my alarm and then have trouble. So I just stayed up the whole fucking night. Never was a good idea, but it worked more or less. I was just reading about, I was looking in the news and I saw 6.1 magnitude earthquake hit Turkey, which fortunately isn't huge, but was felt in Istanbul. Uh, they closed Mount Vesuvius in Italy to tourists, not because, Mount Vesuvius was going to go off, but it's still an earthquake, yeah, for sure. Um, Mount Vesuvius closed to tourists because of a wildfire, which, like, granted, that was kind of the problem last time, but it was coming from inside the mountain, not outside of it. 4 more days, you'll see if you got into the college. Oh, congratulations. Let me know how that looks. You're 62nd on the list. Well, there's 45 free places. Okay. Depending on how many people want to be where you want to be, that definitely gets you pretty close. Speaking of wildfires, Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh, Scotland is on fire. There's 45 free places, but that's the original copy documents, different priority in college. Oh, okay. I'm just glad I don't have to worry about that anymore. I definitely, I got through it, but it's really nice to be on the other side of it. So all I can say is best of luck to you. Count only originals and first priority. You're in 10th place. Okay, that's awesome. How did Soma end on the last stream? So I was putting together. I'm trying to get the security code from. I don't remember his name. But the guy who like you have a copy of his brain. But you need to a put him in the right environment and b load the right module. And I have, I think, the right environment, but I don't have the module, so I'm still looking for that. I got 4 hours in, give or take. It didn't crash on me like Cry of Fear, so that was great. I really did like Cry of Fear, but whew, the technical issues. Spent a lot of time on that puzzle because you were stupid. Well, you always feel that way when you're done with it, right? Like, I played Portal many, many years ago, and there were a few times that I spent 20 minutes on a puzzle only to realize, like, that it was like a two-step process, and it was super easy. You were 12 and you played that? Yeah. Shit, how old was I when Portal came out? I think I was 12 when Portal came out. I didn't play it probably till I was 16, but I think the original Portal came out in 2007. Yeah, Portal 1 was 2007. Yeah, that's what I thought. I played both of them around the release date of Portal 2, so I guess I would have been 16 or 17, depending on when that came out. Played it around 2013 or 2014 when you were gifted a disc. That's awesome. I think I got it with the orange box for the Xbox 360, which contained Portal 1, Half-Life 2, and both the DLCs, Team Fortress 2 and both the DLCs, and then I got Portal 2 separately. Orange Box, Half-Life 2 plus episodes, Portal 1 and TF2. Yeah, that's what I remembered. It's in the other room. I guess I could go check if I really needed to know. I've still got GameCube games from back in the day. I have all this physical media I just don't use anymore. Because as much as I think it's important to own physical media, so that, companies can't control what's edited or deleted from a product that you own, God, I can't deny that downloading stuff is just really convenient. Physical copies are usually a lot cooler than digital. That's absolutely true. The guides, maps, and books that can contain physical copies. Yes. So, had I been a wealthier person in 2020, the collector's edition of The Last of Us 2 was so fucking cool. And I was very sad that I did not get the opportunity to pick one of those up. I also remember the steel-cased Halo 3 back in the day was very, very cool. I also remember, I think the Walking Dead games, like, collector's editions kind of did this thing where they got crazier and crazier and crazier for a while until people realized it just wasn't practical. But the one that I remember, and I'll have to see if I can find this and drop it in the chat, there was a Left 4 Dead. I think it was the Telltale games, or maybe it was the DVDs of the show, but it was a collector's edition in the shape of a zombie with a screwdriver sticking out of one eye, and I was like, holy shit. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, yeah, Jesus, here it is. Yeah, like you say, it was cool, but, like, you gotta display that shit in your house. Okay, yeah. This is, I guess, an article on one? Yeah. Like, I get that it's a super cool idea in theory, but unless you have a very zombie themed house, it's probably kind of obtrusive. Lobotomy practice head? Yeah, a little. The trick in a lobotomy was to miss the eye, but yeah. Okay. Well, I've glanced through the news and most of it is depressing, so... Alright. At this point, I have no real plans for what we're going to talk about. Could try to join Discord. Yeah, sure, feel free. I'm basically planning to just sort of yap for a few hours and see if people want to join in and throw, hey, how's it going?
Yay, I can hear you.
Excellent.
So, how are you doing? How does the ketamine treatment?
Went well. I'm always tired afterwards, but I definitely am feeling, a little better after having done them.
Oh.
Just a little more relaxed, a little lower, standard pain.
Mm-hmm.
Though, God, I woke up, I think at like 3 p.m. yesterday, and I was like, there's no way. I absolutely need sleep, because I can't go from 3 p.m. yesterday to 5 p.m. at my job today and then stream. I was like, no, I just went back to bed and woke up at like midnight. I just skipped yesterday.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't have been my first choice, but frankly, I needed the sleep. The real problem
Sometimes.
that I find with the ketamine is that I find, like, because it makes me sleep so much and because it dehydrates me, I can sleep long enough that the dehydration gets worse, so I need to, like, constantly pay attention and just be downing water anytime I'm awake.
My pen again. I'm sorry.
What's that?
My pen again. Sorry. I rejoined.
Oh, no worries. Oh.
Is ketamine is like not opioid? This
It's
word.
not. It's an anesthetic. It's not an opioid. I don't think. Let me double check that, lest I spread misinformation. Yeah, it's an NMDA receptor antagonist with analgesic and hallucinogenic properties, medically for anesthesia, depression, pain management. Yes, so not an opioid. But it is what I knew it as was as a horse tranquilizer that was used in like veterinary medicine. And so when they told me they were like, "Hey, we're going to use ketamine," I'm like, "The horse drug?" And they were like, "Yes, that one." But apparently, what I didn't know at the time was it was also a party drug. So some people on ketamine will trip or like experience hallucinations, which I don't have. My binocular vision disconnects so that I'm seeing out of both eyes separately, so I'm kind of seeing double. And then I get very sleepy and fall asleep. So I don't have the fun stuff with ketamine. I just kind of nap. Which in the early days of my injury was fun just because I was not sleeping due to the pain. So the fact that I could sleep was awesome.
So it's like this type of medicine drug that usually prescribed for the insomnia for you when
Not for insomnia, it's for nerve damage. And
I just say that it affects you like the the drug that prescribed for insomnia like
oh yes, yeah, a
it
little
makes
bit.
you feel sleepy. I
Yeah,
never
it's
like
broadly used these days to treat treatment-resistant depression, where like other antidepressants don't work. Ketamine often can kind of fill that gap, but I'm using it specifically for pain management.
do do you have like any uh, prohibitants while being on treatment on ketamine?
Sorry,
Like
repeat
you
the word.
can you can't use this while having ketamine in your system.
Oh,
Like
prohibitions.
you can mix,
Yeah.
like
So
you can
like,
mix.
don't drink
You can't.
is a big
Yeah.
one. Alcohol and ketamine does not mix. That'll just kill you. Um, and they're like for 24 hours after, like no heavy machinery, don't drive cars, that kind of thing.
Mm.
Don't make any big decisions, which is hilarious because one time within that 24-hour window, one of my decisions was to go back to college.
Mm.
That worked out, but it was funny at the time.
How long you can't drink alcohol?
Theoretically, on the medications I'm on, I'm not supposed to drink much anyway, but it's that same like 24-hour window where they're like, just don't drink
Oh,
anything in that period, which isn't a
I
problem.
never.
I drink maybe twice a month. Like, I don't really drink much.
Mhm. I never drank any alcohol.
It's generally overrated. Um, I find it to be, I might have a drink if I'm reading a good book or something, but I don't drink socially, so I don't drink much.
Mhm. I kind of just grew in this environment that like alcohol, like smokes, and just not for me, kind of like
Oh yeah, fair enough.
shit.
I got a friend who's very similar, just doesn't drink because both of his parents drank and that didn't end well. He was like,
Yeah.
I'll probably pass on that. Fortunately, I had a pretty, like, neither of my parents drank much, so I didn't drink much. Like, my learned experience of watching them was like, yeah, don't drink much. So I went with that.
Mhm.
And then I got really paranoid about it because after I got injured, I knew exactly how easy it would be to find an opioid or alcohol to, like, numb the pain. And I, as an EMT, and had seen people who chose to do that, and it just, I never wanted to be that person. I'm good.
Mm. How actually the alcohol affects the nerves so you like lesser pain? Like,
So it's a central nervous system depressant. Effectively, it sort of deadens the uh, sensation that your nerves are feeling. So
mm,
if you're like, say, you got banged in the leg and you drink some, the amount of pain that the leg is reporting will be diminished by the alcohol uh, before it gets to your brain.
mm,
Which is one of the reasons that alcohol used to be used as like a dental anesthetic. So, like, if they were gonna pull a tooth, they'd just have you drink some before and then drink some after, which isn't an awesome idea with modern medicine, but it wasn't a terrible idea at the time because the problem with alcohol is that it's a vasodilator, which means that your veins open up when you're drinking, which means that you bleed more when you've been drinking. So if you're doing something like surgery in the mouth, you're going to wind up bleeding a lot more if you're drunk.
mm.
Oh, there it is.
So,
The National Institute of Health page on alcohol from the central action mechanism to chemical dependency. This is a very scientific article, but it basically contains what I was talking about. Short version is basically it deadens the nerves some. It also tends to lower inhibitions, which is one of the reasons people use it socially, is people who are socially anxious or are concerned about talking to someone socially will drink alcohol to lower the inhibitions so that they can get over that hump to talk to the person, which almost never ends well because by the time that the alcohol has altered their behavior enough to talk to the other person, they really wish that that hadn't happened because now they're making a fool of themselves because they're drunk in front of the other person. I'm not saying there's not a happy medium. I'm just saying I've seen it go wrong a lot of times.
By the way, what is this picture on screen with the some like
Oh, the picture that I've got up for the stream is it's in Athens. It's the Odeon Amphitheater. So where, Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, well, definitely Plato and Aristotle, would go and hold public debates. It's where voting members of Athens would go to debate. It also, I believe, was used for Greek theater, various plays at the time. But the idea of a Socratic seminar would be basically you've got one person presenting an idea, and then you've got other people in the audience who can throw out their ideas or reactions or move the conversation in a different direction. It was always a way that I found that I learned well, to kind of bounce ideas off of other people and have their perspectives as well, which is why I call this Socratic Sunday, because the idea is a Socratic seminar where people can come in, throw out new topics, new ideas, something from the news, some history, some new scientific article, anything of that nature.
Nice. Also nice, like picking the name of the how do you call
for the stream?
Yeah, for the there's another word like
for the alliteration.
Program.
Alliteration?
What? I don't know this word.
Oh, alliteration is, so basically you have multiple words back to back that all start with the same sound. So, Socratic Sunday is two S sounds, so it's alliterative. People who really want to go nuts will do like whole sentences with the same words that start with the same letter. It sounds very silly, but it's an interesting sort of an exercise to know how well you can command vocabulary to say what you want to say.
No, I meant like you have like Socratic Sunday like as recurring the stream, like when you speak about like podcast. This like a program on TV, like the Saturday Night Live in USA, and like the usual thing on Saturday, I think, like a program, and you have here a program Socratic Sunday. So yeah.
Like
nice name for the.
Oh, thank you.
This type.
Yeah, it's sort of what the idea of the channel was to begin with. I was originally going to have a just chatting channel where I would, go on and have people join and talk, which immediately fell into the roadblock that you actually need to have people watch your streams before you can do that. Because otherwise it's just a 4-hour podcast of me yapping into my microphone, which I can do, but it's not necessarily what I was aiming for. So I started doing the gaming largely to entertain myself, and then I sort of introduced Socratic Sunday back into the mix with the idea being that I would do those streams just once a week.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, kind of the whole thing, like about talking about different topics without any feedback from the community. It's like meh.
Well, I do have in the Discord server a specific thing for like suggestions for topics on Socratic Sunday, but we're still a small enough community that I don't have a ton of people in there posting ideas. Because the idea is like if someone posts something in there, I can at least research it to have some idea of what I'm talking about by the time the stream rolls around. But the engagement on that is relatively slim. And as Nussrat has told me again and again, I really need to be on like Instagram and TikTok, and I have not gotten up on those websites to advertise at all.
Yeah. Also, you could try like Twitch collaborations, like found some guy that you find interesting or popular enough and somewhat with your interests. Uh, you can like let's collab if you a
Yeah,
little bit
potentially.
know each other. Yeah, and there's like a whole function where your chat and this other streamer chat like they combines and you can see both channels chats and it's like
Yeah,
cool.
I've
Uh,
seen the shared chat feature used well, and I've seen it used really poorly. Because I know that especially if you've got like plugins for Twitch, that like both people will see resubs for the other person and that kind of thing, which isn't a problem for me. I'm not even affiliate, so I don't have subs. Period.
yeah.
But I know that the share chat can cause problems like that. But that's it. I think it's not a bad idea. I need to, if I can find, a couple of smaller streamers that want to join up and do that. I have a couple of friends who probably would be interested, but their schedules are very busy, and scheduling anything to do at the same time with them is tough. So at this point,
Well,
we're working
man.
on getting a separate YouTube channel off the ground, which is we will eventually do, but it's not promising at the moment just because our schedules are not lining up right now. It should get easier when one of the guys gets back to school because he'll at least have a more regular schedule, but it's it's slow going at the moment.
Mhm.
And I also
Well,
recognize that I'm basically doing community building on Twitch on hard mode because I'm doing variety content instead of doing like super focused like one thing and then branching out, which is what is recommended. Like get into a niche community, become like better known there, and then start branching your content out. But frankly, the ADHD in my title is not a joke, and I don't have the attention span for that.
well, I don't even know how to respond to this. It's like it's basic. Like um, it's normal strategy. Like many people use it. So like you, the one you use, like variety of
Yeah,
topics, games. So yeah, it's just like the. I think of it like the people if they subscribe doing some stream. If you have this strategy, they will come back for you, not for the game or the
right,
thing.
absolutely.
Like
The question
so, yeah.
is generally more like if I go and do that thing with a particular game, like say I went back to Dark Souls and got really really into Dark Souls and I found a community that was interested in Dark Souls. Yes, probably they would follow me away from Dark Souls because of the personality. But if I don't do that, then I'm playing variety games where I've got relatively few people watching. And as I jump category to category, I don't tend to gain a ton of momentum per game. Whereas if I, even if the trouble with blowing up online is that it's so random. Because, like, I could have, say, a single funny clip in Dark Souls or whatever, and have that blow up on TikTok, a platform I'm not even on, and then have a bunch of people come to my stream afterwards. So it's very, very random what will get a channel to explode, and there are channels out there that go for, a couple of years before they get any real traction, and there are channels out there that are up for 2 weeks and they are all over YouTube. So I'm aware that while there is an element of, showing up on time to my scheduled streams and being there and being funny or at least awake, I can also not predict what that sort of radical element is that might get my channel to, like, rise to popularity.
It's just pure luck, and it's either luck, like just funny clip that got really famous, or like a strategy, like a pure strategy where like you make something that like using math you will succeed. Like it's like really hard to this like the math using math strategy. Just like uh I think this game will blow up. I will have to like do something on this like very very unique and original video so that it will like surely blow up because nobody has it.
Which is a great idea. The trouble is that A, there are 8 billion people on this planet and not one of us is quite as original as we think we are. And two, like, that prediction of the future has to be correct, where you're like, this game will explode. Whereas, I'll tell you, like, back in 2016, No Man's Sky was coming out, and if you had asked anyone on Reddit, it was going to be the biggest fucking game ever. And within 24 hours of launch, it nosedived. And now it's come back to popularity over the course of the, 8 years since. But trying to predict, what's going to be the next big thing based on marketing and hype is just, it is pure gambling.
Yeah.
Or you go to a thing that's already popular and try and enter that space. That said, I'm not really a guy who's super interested in learning how to play Fortnite. Or Roblox. I'll pass on both.
Roblox is like there's more like the game you find on it. It's an engine. It's not a game.
It's kind of like saying Steam. It's like you go there to find a game to play, and then I know that that's an oversimplification of Roblox, but also Roblox is a titan in the video game space.
Yeah, there's good games on Roblox, like really good, like masterpiece.
Oh, I'm sure. But you really gotta wade through a lot of shit to get there.
Like on Steam.
Well, that's true. I mean, most platforms, really. That was I was reading a review of someone talking about a more modern book, and they were saying, none of the books put out these days have any soul. They're just like garbage. They're terrible. And I'm like, okay, that's been true literally forever. 90% of every book put out, probably closer to 95, is garbage. You're absolutely correct. It's the ones that people are still talking about 10 to 15 years down the line that tended to be good. If you're trying to keep up just with things that are new coming out, yeah, you're going to read a lot of garbage. If you, go by word of mouth or find a reviewer that has similar taste to you, you'll have a better time.
Yeah.
That's like, I've had reviewers where they will review a thing that I played and they fucking hate it, and I'm like, I loved this thing. Or vice versa, they'll be like, this is the most amazing thing ever, and I'm like, I hate every part of this experience. And so finding a reviewer that kind of matches up to you more often than not is often an important piece of that puzzle.
Yeah. Did you know that Cry of Fear had multiplayer?
Yes, I saw that on the home screen, but I didn't mess with it any.
Well, it's like. Do you want a little bit story of the multiplayer because it's like literally a few sentences.
Oh, sure.
Basically, we play a squad of officers. You remember that Simon shot in the so-called
Yeah.
good ending. So basically, they say we have to travel. We have to go inside the Simon's book and throughout the beginning of it to stop the car and to not make to prevent Simon's disability and tragedy. So basically, they get inside the book, go to the beginning of the game, and stop the driver. And in the closing uh, credits, the Simon walks with Sophie hand to hand like they dating. So
Gotcha.
basically, that's it.
Interesting.
It's like just a story for just a story. Like, do you know the famous quote from the John Romero?
Sorry, which from John Romero?
The one with Doom. I think it's John. Yeah, I only know it's Romero, maybe not John.
Uh,
From the Doom.
yeah. There was John Romero and John Carmack. But yeah,
Yeah,
John Romero worked on Doom and later Daikatana, which did not work out well.
yeah. So his quote was like, "The storyline in the game is like important. It has to be, but it's not important." But he actually was wrong. But it's about the multiplayer story in the Cry of Fear. It just has to be, but it's not important.
Yeah, there's some interesting back and forth as far as the importance of story to game. And there's legitimate points to be had on both sides in terms of like, is story the most important aspect of the game? Well, it really depends on the game. Because, for instance, if you were to ask me that about a game like The Last of Us, I would say yes. Like, story is the important part of that game. The actual gameplay of The Last of Us in 2013, not groundbreaking. Pretty simple third-person shooter on the whole. But the story was very, very good, very important. Whereas, if you do something like Minecraft, no, the story is completely irrelevant. Like, you go
Yeah,
fight an
it
Ender Dragon,
depends
I
on
mean,
the
yeah,
game.
sure, but by and large, it really doesn't matter. The point is the gameplay.
Yeah, it depends on the game actually. Like
Yeah, I
if you
think it
have like
really it's a very broad genre of art, and to say that the story does or does not matter is very dependent on the piece of art that you're talking about.
yeah, but Doom and Up with the whole story about ancient demons and not angels, some different type of race fighting. The energy, some like it's like really big lore in the Doom.
Oh, in Doom 2016? Yes.
Not like the Doom from 2016 to the Doom Dark Ages, like the whole new Doom series.
Yeah, the new Doom series is pretty lore heavy. The original Doom series was a bunch of levels that you played, and then there were like a paragraph of text in between them, and then
Yeah,
you moved
yeah,
on.
yeah,
Probably without reading that paragraph of text.
yeah. So Like John Romero is like right and wrong at the same time, but
Oh, without a doubt.
yeah.
But he is a very talented and very flawed human being. If you read into what happened with Daikatana, that is very clear. he
I
he
only know that
went
it's failed.
yeah, Daikatana was a whole sort of ego trip where he wanted to make programmers, look like rock stars, and it it wasn't a good look. It didn't work out in the end. It turned out that you needed both John Romero and John Carmack to make Doom because they sort of curbed each other's more wild impulses.
Yeah.
But I mean, on the whole, John Romero is a genuinely interesting figure. But I would not go to him for accurate wisdom 100% of the time.
Yeah. Funny detail about the Quake games and the new games. They have like a really one thing that connects modern games and the Quake game, like the original Quake.
Yeah.
It's a uh, light pattern, like when like the bulb in the ceiling flickers, like the light flicker,
Oh,
like
interesting.
turns. Yeah, so basically, uh, in Quake One, there they have one pattern like shut down, turn on, turn on, like the one pattern, like the only one pattern throughout the game. And because Quake was so popular that many engines orders uh, was made on the
On the
Quake,
Quake engine, yeah.
like like the gold source for Half-Life One. They like the pattern of light flicker remains to this day. Like many games to this day have the same light pattern.
Interesting.
Yeah, because nobody just don't care about changing the code.
Well, right, like what difference does it make? And if anybody calls you out on being lazy, you can be like, no, it's an homage to Quake.
Yeah, the I have two versions. Like they don't change it, like because why? It's flickering. It's flickering. Why change it? Another version that it will ruin the shadow map, like the whole system about lighting. So I think prefer the first one because like it sounds more logical.
Right.
So yeah, it's funny detail about games.
Yeah, there was something like that not that long ago where we found out that like a significant chunk of the internet was built off of like a very small line of code and it broke a whole bunch of shit like I want to say about a year ago when it was figured out that it was like a major security risk that everything had this line of code in it.
Mm.
Let me see if I can find that.
I'm gonna try to find the light flicker thing
Yeah, sure.
on YouTube. Uh,
Yeah, I can't find it. It's I'm basically finding a bunch of shit of like don't let AI code. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, but that's fine.
I think I can find it. Like I only saw a Russian video about this, so it's probably somewhere on forums, like the the forums like Reddit and stuff like about this. Maybe in English community
Yeah, give me
don't
one
have
second.
much.
Oh, I got a Kotaku article on it for specifically Half-Life Alyx having the same bit of code flicker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like this stuff because like Gold Source was made on Quake
Yeah.
engine.
I mean, that's one of the things about collaborative work is like you can go a very long way standing on the shoulders of giants. You just have to know that the giants were occasionally wrong. And just because something is a certain way doesn't mean that that was the best way to do it. It may have just been the quickest way to do it 20 years ago.
Mm.
Or at this point, I guess for the original Quake, 30 plus years ago. Fuck.
Still like cool, strange.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
interesting. It's just one of those things that like it's interesting, but it's also sort of a like warning to pay attention to the small things. Because while the flickering of the lights is not important, like doesn't matter, there could be something
Mhm.
in that code that does that you're just taking for granted because it's been there the whole time.
Do what do you think about like reaction on some music, like the yeah
Like doing
reaction?
reactions on music videos?
Not like if they had like the reaction on the like old music, new music, well, just music that some viewer suggests
I'm
or
not innately
talks about.
opposed, though it is very, very difficult to monetize, just because of DMCA and the.
Yeah, but this like now you don't have like affiliate, a partnership.
Oh, that's
I
true.
don't
Like
know how.
I wouldn't be losing any money. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, so
It's one of those things where I would almost be like okay recording that and putting it on like a Discord or a Patreon, just where I wouldn't have to worry about YouTube giving me DMCA strikes or anything. Like I wouldn't be opposed to doing it. I probably just wouldn't do it on YouTube and possibly not on Twitch. I might do it on Twitch. Twitch is probably okay with it. It's got tools that would like auto mute it for the VOD, but doing it
yeah,
live I would be fine. Yeah, I mean I'm
so
interested. I would definitely consider it.
I just wanted to like ask you to react few Russian like the the classic rock Russian like the from 80s 90s few
So
tracks.
what I'll do is I'll have you throw that in the Discord, um, and then I can look at that after stream. But because I'm putting this up on YouTube, I'm gonna not do that right now.
Okay.
I am interested in doing that, and I am interested in finding more Russian music. I do enjoy classic rock. Hey, Nussrat, how's it going? I do enjoy classic rock, definitely of that era too. But what I'll say is like I the thing that I would like to find more of is good Russian folk music. Because I've
Folk
found
music is
some.
like the folk music is like the uh. I, could you describe folk music, please?
So think traditional music on acoustic instruments. In Russia, that would be a mandolin, a balalaika, a
Oh,
drums. Generally, vocals unassisted by a microphone.
these. Well,
Lots
we
of like
kinda
traditional
also.
songs that have been around for like hundreds of years, but are still being sung, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't like our music like the classical one because.
That's fair. I have a
Mm,
pretty broad and eclectic taste in music, and I know that not everyone does, so I have no objection to people not liking all the things I like, because I know that I like a lot more things than most people when it comes to music.
yeah.
That said, classic
Also, I
rock
don't.
is a good call. I do tend to enjoy that. I also have found some Russian pop punk that I enjoy from Sotny Olibok.
What?
They're a relatively small band.
Mm. Well, this is the few tracks from the band I talk is from one band. It's named Kino.
I think I've heard of that one.
It's basically one of it's the most popular band in the USSR.
USSR,
Why
yeah.
do you yeah, I think I can speak I can pronounce uses on
I mean, it's
English.
easier if you just say SSSR. Like, that's fine.
SSSR. Yeah. So yeah, it's have you heard about Victor Tsoi?
It sounds familiar, but like the name sounds familiar, but I don't know that I'd be able to like list any of the tracks that he did.
Well, he was a frontman, a song lyricist of the band Kino. He
Oh, okay.
was the most famous rock legend in Russia. He wrote like songs "Перемен" or "Changes" in
Yes,
English.
that one I think I've heard.
Uh, Группа крови, Blood Type, and maybe "Спокойная ночь", "Good Night".
Spokojna Noche, I know. That one I've heard.
So yeah, he wrote the lyrics. He was the rhythm guitarist, like on acoustic.
Oh, yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, he was like the underground of the Peter. I think he was from Peter or from Moscow. Uh,
One of the big two.
yeah, uh, he he was like repressed because he was like underground to Americanized American uh, like this and the song called Changes or Перемен. Uh, Many people thought this as political view, like there's like the one thing from the lyrics, like the text changes uh, once our heart once changes,
Yes.
demands our changes, but the song changes was more about the inner changes, like the mind changes, the changes in life, not the political. But
Right.
because of this, the band was like repressed, like censored, censored
Yeah,
maybe.
that was not an uncommon experience in Soviet Russia, I read a
Yeah,
lot of Soviet era literature that sort of made its way out of the country underground, and eventually got to the U.S. and was eventually, after the fall of the Soviet Union, published. But it was some very interesting stuff. Kino also
yeah.
did Kukusha, right?
Кукушка, да. Yes, yes.
Kukushka. Yeah.
It's
Which is
a
also a
bird.
great movie.
Never watched the movie. I only know that like few years ago there was like a cover of some woman. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a kind of goofy movie, but it's like a World War II era, like one Finnish and one Russian soldier wind up living with a uh like native Finnish woman. It's fun. It's
Mm.
not particularly serious. But it's one that I watched in my classes in college.
Mm. Still, Kino is like the classic of uh, Russia. Now, back then it was like the most popular band. Now it's like classic of 90s,
Yeah,
80s.
yeah. It went from the biggest thing in the world to old people music.
Kinda, it's like the millennial and Gen X
Yeah,
and some boomers. Probably more boomers. He was
like
like
millennials
name.
would have grown up with it, but Gen X and Boomers would have been old enough to really appreciate what it was talking about.
Yeah, he was like not exactly like Kurt Cobain in USSR.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that was Kurt Cobain was a really major loss in the early 90s. Just because Nirvana was like really hitting it big and only lasted for a couple of years before he died. I mean, before he killed himself.
Nirvana is my favorite band. I know a lot about them.
Really excellent. Funny
Yeah.
enough, my dad happens to know Dave Grohl, who is now.
Wow, Foo Fighters frontman. Yeah.
Yep. Uh, and by no, I mean has met. He happened to teach at the same school as Dave Grohl's mother, and so when my dad met him in the early '90s, he was introduced to him as, "This is my son David. He's in a band," and that was several months before Nirvana blew up.
Wow.
And he said
Wow.
a couple of times he was like, "I know that guy. I've met that guy."
Wow. So
Just
you.
purely by coincidence, he happened to attend the high school my dad taught at.
So it was somewhere like in how the version somewhere in Washington.
Yeah, a little bit outside of DC.
Yeah, I know that he came from the east, somewhere in the Washington area. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but about 30, 45 minutes outside of DC, probably.
yeah. Funny enough, because he like they've got lived and grow in somewhere in Washington, like the area, and then DC, Washington DC, and then flew to Washington State to settle because of the
Yeah,
Nirvana.
yeah. Yeah,
Actually,
Seattle was a big music destination and still is.
yeah, your geography in states really strange. Like the
Look,
Washington DC have the
no
Virginia.
disagreement. No
How
disagreement.
yeah, how the state with the Washington DC called Virginia, West Virginia? I don't know.
So the state is just Washington State. We call DC Washington DC. It's actually the District of
The
Columbia.
capital. It's
Yeah.
District of Columbia.
Though, like, locally, we just call it DC.
Mm.
Like,
And
nobody
there
says
you have.
Washington just because it's needlessly confusing. But absolutely, people from not from around here will call it Washington, and then people then have to clarify, like, the one over here or the one 2,400 miles away.
Yeah, like the one, the capital of the whole country is on east coast, and it's not in Washington State, and the exactly Washington State is on the west side, on the north part. It's like, what the fuck?
Personally, I
Why?
blame George Washington for being our first president, so we decided to name a bunch of shit after him.
Oh, really?
That was one of my favorite old Russian jokes. Is about the man who was born in St. Petersburg, grew up in Leningrad, got old and retired in Petrograd, and died in St. Petersburg, and never moved.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's fine. Oh, so about Nirvana. Yeah, it's my favorite band. Like in general, I only started listening somewhere in April or March of last year.
Oh,
But
cool.
since then, I like almost not almost every day I listen to songs of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know like almost all of the riffs on the guitar.
That is very impressive. I am not at all a talented musician. I tried a little bit when I was younger. It didn't stick, and I sort of moved on. My best
Yeah.
artistic expression these days is creative writing.
I can play some of the riffs right now if you want through microphone.
Oh, I mean, if you'd like to, feel free.
Yeah, sure. I could actually like share my screen and I have like the audio capture, like the thing for to play using the computer and not the amp. But I have the amp and I need my pick. Do you know what pick is?
Yeah, like a pick, like a little triangle.
Yeah. We have like different, like the whole word for it. Mediator.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that one. I wonder what the
Well,
etymology
it's
is
like
of that.
super specific. It's super specific. I don't. It's like super specific, so I don't know. Like, why do you need to know this word? So yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna turn off my like sound filter, so I like you will hear every sound.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you can hear everything like now.
Yeah, it's coming through.
Yeah. So, do you wanna start with the most famous riff of Nirvana?
So I assume that would be let's see. Most famous riff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Sorry, it's
No, you're
continues like
good.
that.
You're good. Yes. Well, oh Christ, what is the name of the song?
It smells like Teen Spirit.
Yeah. I could
So
not for the life of me remember the name of the song as soon as you started playing.
yeah,
Smells Like Teen Spirit. Yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah.
their second most famous riff. Wait, man. It's Come As You Are.
Yeah, Come As You Are, yeah. Now, the funny thing, Smells Like Teen Spirit, do you know what that's a reference to?
To the shampoo. I don't know how
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this
Deodorant.
thing
Yes. Yeah, it was a
deodorant
kind of
like
deodorant.
yeah, Kurt like was I don't know called hugged his back then girlfriend Tracy from not Tracy the Toby I think some Toby Vale I think maybe Toby Vale I'm not sure I think Toby Vale yeah and the friend like uh, the female friend just friend like got the scent of the Kurt and wrote on his wall Kurt smells like teen spirit but Kurt thought about the rebellious stuff that they talked about rebellion anarchy and like this kind of stuff I'm not sure what I wasn't there
Yeah,
and
it's been a little while.
so yeah, he so he thought she talked like literally he smelled like in spirit, but she meant he smelled like literally he physically smelled
Yeah.
like deodorant. So when like somewhere in December of 1991 or uh beginning of 1992 he learned about the deodorant and he like well fuck I hate this well he hated the song because few things like because of this
Right.
deodorant and because it was overplayed like
Oh, that's a
overplayed and
very
over
common
demanded.
thing in my experience where I've known artists who like one thing becomes like the thing that they're known for, and it's not the thing that they care about, it's just the thing that got big. And so a lot of them have kind of a love-hate relationship with their most successful work in my experience.
Yeah, I have here an pedal guitar.
Oh, nice.
It's a distortion slash overdrive. Cool pedal.
Yeah, it sounds very grunge.
Well, yeah. The grunge is mostly about a lot of distortion and the dirt in it, like the not clean game, like some noises, feedback, and like wrong playing, like not
Well, yeah,
the
I mean,
cleanest way.
grunge sort of evolved out of punk, which sort of intentionally sounded bad, and
More
then
punk rock, I think.
grunge sort of moved from that to sounding not technically clean but good in a way that was cool. And then alternative and pop punk kind of moved into that space where they were like, we're still protesting, but it's gonna sound good.
It's I think called post grunge
Yeah.
when after like
Yeah, post grunge or
cool.
alternative, or I mean, there were a bunch of names for it. That problem was everybody was trying to figure out what the genre was called while the genre was being defined, so everybody came up with different names.
Yeah, there one guy somewhere in beginning of 80s called this is grunge, this is dirt, this is awful. Uh, he was like one of the pioneers of one of the like the founding members of the grunge sound of Seattle.
Oh, that's cool.
He used word grunge for as description for his band.
That is the other problem with introducing a term, is that once people get a hold of a term, it gets completely misused. It's my
Yeah.
favorite thing whenever any like psychological diagnosis gets sufficiently well known that like suddenly everybody is dealing with a narcissist, and it's like, no, that's not a thing. You're no.
Well, ADHD is kind of thing lately. Like a lot of people, like
A lot of people think that they have ADHD, and
yeah,
by and large, they're mostly having TikTok brain rot. As someone who actually has had ADHD my whole fucking life, I assure you, it's slightly more complicated than that.
yeah,
which
and a
isn't
lot
to
of
say that
depression.
like people aren't functionally giving themselves ADHD. Like I get that that's a problem, but for those of us who started with it, it's like, no, it's not. It's not exactly what you're dealing with.
Yeah, kind
Well,
of sucks,
it
but
was a
what can we
genuine
do?
problem in the 90s where like ADD and ADHD came out as diagnoses, and a bunch of people ran to have their kids, diagnosed. And it's like, well, ADHD does look a lot like a young boy's brain, by and large. Like, you're gonna come up with a
Yeah,
number of false positives if you do it to a young enough crowd. That said, I got diagnosed at 4 years old, and they were fucking right, so I don't know.
wanna know how ADHD is on Russian? Like the how it sounds.
Sure.
SDVG. It's ADHD. Like
SDVG,
with
gotcha,
the
yeah.
hyperactivity. Синдром дефицита внимания и гиперактивности.
Short. Okay. Got it.
Syndrome is like
Yeah,
like
syndrome
constant.
would be, yeah.
It's
That
like
much
the
I got.
constant thing. Yeah. Синдром дефицита. Дефицит. Could you
Deficit, yeah. Or lack of.
yeah. Синдром дефицита внимания is attention.
Attention,
Внимание is
yeah.
attention. И and гиперактивность. Hyperactivity.
Okay. Yeah, that one I would have had more trouble
Hyper
with.
is hyper. So yeah.
SDVG.
And
Okay.
there's like SDV, syndrome дефицита внимания. Just ADD, ADH. I don't know how.
So ADD is attention deficit disorder, which is to say
Yeah.
that you have difficulty focusing on tasks.
Yeah.
You are capable of hyper-focusing on tasks, but it lacks the H part, which is hyperactivity, which means that you basically constantly need to be moving or fiddling with something.
Yeah. I know. I read about this because, like, what if I have it? Like, 3 years ago, I thought about this, but like, no, I am not a doctor. Fuck it.
Well, the thing is that like a lot of people talk about like don't self-diagnose based on the internet, which is true. You shouldn't do that. However, if you go on the internet and find a bunch of things that point to like maybe you have this and you feel that you have enough symptoms that you might want to check with a doctor, like yeah, go use it as a resource, not as a definitive answer.
Well, I've seen someone think that maybe I have, but like, if I'm gonna check it though, so it's gonna be after my 18th birthday somewhere, like when I have time, because does it changes?
The only thing it changes is if you do have it, there's oh hey, Nussrat, how's it going? The only thing it changes is if you do have the diagnosis, then it is entirely possible that, or rather, there are already studies of what can help you, and there are medications
Like
out there
Adderall.
that might help you. Sure. I mean, Adderall, Ritalin, Vyvanse, a bunch of different medications that could be helpful. Um, but Lexapro, I think, is one of the European ones.
Well, it's like I don't know how. Maybe in Russia they don't give this, so it's like later. I don't want now like get all this like go to a hospital or some. I don't know. I don't even know where to check it.
Well, fortunately, you told me where you are, and you're not too far out of Moscow, which is a pretty solid center for like medical knowledge. Um, and it's one of those things that like, does it change anything in your day to day life? Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe you find out that it has no effect on your life in that you don't find any of the drugs particularly useful. Maybe you find out that one drug helps you to organize and do everything that you want to get done much better. I know people for whom it has worked like that. I also found that the medications basically didn't work for me, or at least didn't work for me long term. So
Mm.
maybe it would have an effect, maybe it would not. But if you've got the time in between like college semesters, going and talking to a medical professional to see if it's a thing that you have. A lot of people find that like they get diagnosed in their 20s or 30s and really wish that they had gone to get it diagnosed earlier so that they had better coping strategies to deal with it.
Mm.
Um, or you don't have it and nothing changes.
Yeah.
I mean that's one of those where like it could have a huge impact on your life to go get it checked, or it could not, and you won't know until you actually go check. So I can't really give you much in the way of advice on that one.
Mm.
Besides, if you think you might have it, go talk to a doctor. They might know.
Yes, but like Moscow is 5 hours away from me, and I don't have money for it now. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
without a doubt. I'm not saying do this right now. I'm saying like when you.
yeah. If I have time, if I have money, I will try to check it. Or if I have like some time got stuck in Moscow, like visiting a friend or on a trip, I know maybe I will try and check out.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's definitely not a thing you have to do, but it's a thing that could benefit you potentially.
Yeah. Wanna listen some other songs like
Yeah, yeah,
from
sure.
again Nirvana. I really love Nirvana, so yeah, it's one of these bands that first, not first, made me wish to play guitar.
That's awesome. Any of those inspirations you can find in your life, that's great.
Yeah, so now I'm gonna play my most loved song. It's called School because it's like it's really high energy and stuff. So yeah, can you hear like guitar is fun?
Yeah, it's coming
The
through.
sound is fine. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna like be silent. I don't sing while playing because not usually. So yeah. It's solo.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's it.
very impressive. I know that song a little bit, but I definitely couldn't have picked it out like Smells Like Teen Spirit. Because I know some Nirvana, but honestly, I don't listen to a ton from the grunge era. Like, Nirvana came through Soundgarden,
Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Mudhoney,
the
Puddle of Mud,
Ramones, oh, what's the other one I'm thinking of?
the Melvins.
Steppenwolf.
No, then yeah.
But yeah, like a few of those. But by and large, a lot of when I sort of came into listening to music, like I was born in '95, so a lot of what I listened to was early to late
Emma
'90s
stuff,
and then the early
new metal.
2000s. What's that?
Uh, New metal and like
Oh
Emma
yeah, new
punk.
metal, a lot of Linkin Park. Who, by the way, put out a really good album last year. Like, they're apparently still doing good stuff.
Mm, I'm was not huge fan of Linkin Park. I only have few songs from them.
Fair
It's
enough.
like Giving Up, Paper Cuts. In the end, like it's classic.
In the End is great.
And Crawling.
Crawling is good. Numb is good. Of their more recent album, Up From the Bottom is good. What's the other really, really good song from that album? I can't remember. I don't know. I'll remember it in like 3 hours. But there were
I
a lot of Linkin Park songs. Bleed It Out was another Linkin Park song I really liked.
mm,
Did you make the song? You love Tenacious D? Solid, Nussrat. Tenacious D is great. It is always great to have a comedy band where the lead lyricist and singer are very, very talented to go along with being funny.
mm.
Tenacious D,
Yeah.
Pick of Destiny, Fuck Her Gently,
What
couple
is
of others.
Tenacious D?
Do you know who Jack Black is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an actor, but he's also a singer. Tenacious D
Yeah,
is
I'm not.
him and his brother's
Oh, it's his
band.
band.
Yeah. There's some very good stuff in there, and some very funny stuff in there.
I know that at some concert he was like some of them wearing the like some like D&D stuff, like someone was a mage. I don't know, I just remember something
Yeah,
like this.
he's done a lot of sort of fantasy range stuff. The song where he meets Kyle on the shore. Shit, I don't remember what that one's called, but I know what you're talking about. Sorry, now I have to look up my favorite songs from them. Tribute is phenomenal. Wonder Boy is great. Apparently they did a cover of Britney Spears' Baby One More Time in Kung Fu Panda 4. I wouldn't know. I haven't watched since Kung Fu Panda 1, so I'm a little behind on that apparently. Explosivo is good. Fucker Gently is good. Drive Through is funny. Yeah, all kinds of shit. That basically all boils down to Jack Black is funny.
Mm. We kind of have the same guy in Russia, like
a similar comedian.
Yeah, he's kind of an actor. He was like very popular on TV shows as like a guest and the program, the guy who runs it, host, I think. Pushnoy, I forgot his name. Alexander Borisovich Pushnoy. He's like a musician, a voice actor, the TV host, and like he was like everywhere on TV back in 2010s, late 2000s, 2010s and late 2000s.
Yeah, Jack Black kind of made a lot of waves around that era, and now just sort of coasts and does whatever he wants to, which is usually just showing up in funny roles. One of the worst moves he ever made, like, not that it was a bad role, but it was a bad game, in my opinion, was a game called Brutal Legend, where you played Jack Black in a, like, metal world, and the dialogue was funny, the gameplay was just terrible, because it was a real-time strategy game where you ran around in third person. It did not work. It was not good.
No, played it, and I'm.
Oh yeah, Nussrat saying he's not making movies anymore. I think that's true right up until they cart a load of money over to him to make another Kung Fu Panda film, and then he'll make another movie. He's not producing any more movies as far as I know, you're correct. That's Smoke on the Water, Deep Purple. I'm a fan.
Yeah. I only know this one. It's like a classic on a guitar. Like, the one that everyone should know. Like.
Yeah, that one is, the guy who, played that riff originally was actually a guitar teacher in my area for a very long time. I knew someone who learned from him directly.
Wow.
Oh, you're saying Jack Black's just doing voice acting these days, want to see him on camera. I think the most recent thing that I saw him in was season 3 of The Mandalorian, but it was a relatively small role. It was him and another musician, basically just having fun. But yeah, I haven't seen him in any major roles. I'm trying to think. The last role I saw him in, like, live-action movie? Like, because that was a series. Live-action movie, the last one I think of is Nacho Libre, but I can't think that that is possibly true. Like, there's gotta be a more recent movie than that. Hole up, the internet knows.
Can I play guitar while we're talking? If
oh,
you
go
don't
right
mind?
ahead. That's more than I can do.
Okay.
Back in Black, AC/DC, hell yeah. Thunderstruck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How could I have forgotten? Jack Black was in a Minecraft movie earlier this year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you didn't watch that one, Nussrat. Yeah, I did not either. I'm good. Honestly, I love Jack Black's work. I enjoy Jason Momoa's work. I did not feel a need to watch the Minecraft movie. Oh, right, he was in the Jumanji movies. Those were actually pretty good.
He was in Jumanji.
Yeah, not the 90s one, but in Jumanji and
Wait,
Jumanji
oh,
The Next Level
wait,
that
he
came
was
out.
playing this explorer.
Yeah. So Jumanji The Next Level was 2019. The one before that would have been like
I love this movie.
2017. Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle. Yeah. And
I love
he was
this movie.
actually great in that. Okay, so I was correct that it absolutely was not Nacho Libre for his last, like, live-action film. I knew that could not be true. Oh god, right, he was in that awful Gulliver's Travels movie. One where the two kids go to space. Oh yeah, shit, I don't remember. Like, leave to space. Yeah. Oh right, I fucking forgot he was in a King Kong movie back in like 05. Alright, here's the connection to our conversation. Jack Black was apparently in a Foo Fighters music video back in 2004 for the Low, for the song Low.
I actually have Low in the playlist.
Oh, nice. Robot Engine scared the shit out of you at the time.
I know few songs from the Foo Fighters. Actually, from the first album.
I was gonna say, I know a few songs, like, The Pretenders, Walk, God, if hard pressed, I could not name many more Foo Fighters songs. Which I feel bad about, because I like what I've heard.
Do you know about first album of Foo Fighters?
Nothing specific.
Well, it's actually an amazing story. Do you wanna hear it?
Yeah, sure.
Basically, in 1994, Dave like grieving about Kurt's death. He went somewhere like Ireland, Norway, like somewhere like in isolation, like so there were not enough many people who like love Nirvana, like many people loved Nirvana back then.
Right.
So yeah, he back where go back go. He flew to somewhere north, like the islands, and he lived somewhere like few weeks, maybe months. Then he saw he saw a hitchhiker, this traveler who like waved a finger to like catch a ride, like the people who on the road
Yeah,
with
hitchhikers.
the hitchhike. So he drives to the guy, to like a kid maybe, to pick him up, and he sees Kurt's face on his shirt, like yeah. So he thought, I can run from music and run from the stuff. Flew back to Seattle, ordered preserved a studio for 4 days or weekend, I don't remember, where they had last session in 30 January of 94 as Nirvana. And like he made for like whole album 12 songs all by himself, the drums, the bass, the guitar, the vocals, all by himself. Whole album for like 4 5 days alone.
Yeah, I'm seeing
And
October 1994.
well,
Played every instrument, sang every vocal, completed an album's worth of
yeah.
material in 5 days. Holy shit. That's awesome.
So yeah, he poured all his grief, his depression, so called. Like I think he was depressed back then.
I wouldn't
Into
surprise me.
creating the yeah. It's fucking amazing. Like whole album, love this alone. Yeah, it was like nuts. And he put like a random word from the dictionary, Foo Fighters. It's I don't know what definition of Foo Fighters, but he picked it from the
It was a
book.
World War II era term for unidentified flying objects.
Yes, yes, yes. So he picked it up, put his name for the group and for the album. So yeah, first album of Foo Fighters is kind of like nuts.
I mean, yeah, to have an entire album done by one guy and then just mix it all so that you can't tell is very, very impressive.
Yeah, and there's like what he managed to do it all by himself because back in somewhere in Washington, I don't know where he lived. He had friends with like the space for to record music, like soundproofed
Yeah,
walls, all the
studios,
stuff
yeah.
like yeah, kind of studios like make self-made studios. So he had like really limited time, so he like a lot of time spent there recording his demos, some demos, I don't know. So he had like a lot of practice as teenager to practice fast, record fast. So yeah.
Yeah. Nusrat, in answer to your question, why not League of Legends? I would love how complicated it is to play in the variety of champions too. I, you, okay. So I'm not generally into MOBAs as a genre, but League of Legends specifically has such a reputation for an incredibly toxic community. Like, the only people that will curse at you worse over comms than your enemies are your teammates. And so League of Legends has never been high on my like interest in playing list. I do recognize that there's an audience out there, but League is not high on my list. I don't think that one's probably going to be one that I touch.
Because of this, I love to play single player games.
That's also true. I tend towards single player. There are games that I'd like happily play multiplayer on. Hold on. What do I have that I could play multiplayer on hand? Let's see. Could get into 7 Days to Die. I don't do a lot of that. Could get into Ark Survival Evolved, which, I have lost days of my life to that game. Could get into what else here? Some of the old Battlefield games. I've got like basically all of those. Nussrat, in answer to your question, why would the people in League of Legends be toxic? It's just that kind of community. I hate to call out an entire community in that way, but frankly,
Majority of community.
It's got a reputation for a reason. Did I see the new? Sorry. Oh, the new Battlefield 6? I saw the trailer. I will believe it when I see more gameplay. It does look
Open
badass.
beta.
It looks like old like Battlefield 3 or 4, which were great games. Personally, I would love a remaster of Battlefield 1942, but that's just me.
There's open beta right now of the Battlefield 6.
Oh, a Battlefield 6? Okay. I will be very,
so
very...
there's gameplay. There's a lot of gameplay from the people who record this.
Okay, that's cool. I will definitely look into it. It's something that, like, on its face interests me. But I've also seen, the way that things like Battlefield 2042 went. I was one of the few people who really liked Battlefield Hardline when they turned it into a cop show for some reason. I liked Battlefield 1. I thought that was great. I played that a ton. I found Battlefield 5 kind of lacking. So it's not that I am not interested. It's just that I want to see how they handle it before I jump in.
In beta right now plays like around 500,000 people.
Oh, that's
There's
awesome.
like even a queue to play a game.
I suppose if I wanted to play multiplayer, I could hop into Diablo, which was never a game I got into, but I do have Diablo 2 and 3. God, if I really wanted to get into weird multiplayer, I could go play Doom from 1993. or Doom from 2016, I suppose, if I wanted to play the newer one. Elden Ring, generally, I could play multiplayer in. I do have all the achievements in that already. I know a lot of people are enjoying Night Rain, and I haven't looked into that at all. Multiplayer, I could play Fallout 76, but I just don't enjoy it that much. If I fucking hated myself, I could play Grand Theft Auto 5 multiplayer. That's not fair. A lot of people really enjoy that. I have played some and enjoyed it, but it's not a thing that I plan to do on stream. Only got to play the original ones. Battlefield 1942, Battlefield 2, Battlefield 4, and Battlefield 1942 Modern Combat. Interesting. I also played Battlefield Vietnam back in the day. There was also a really good mech game called Battlefield 2142 that it was not popular enough to like launch anything, but I enjoyed the game for what it was. There's like all of the fucking Halo games I suppose I could play. if I really wanted to show off how not talented I am at first-person shooters.
I never played Halo games.
It's worth playing the campaigns if you get a chance. I wouldn't worry about missing out, but, you know, it is a part of gaming history for sure. I found Halo 1, 2, and 3 to all have very good campaigns. Halo Reach is pretty solid. Halo 4 I could take or leave. Halo 5 I wouldn't bother. Halo Infinite is fun. It's not groundbreaking, but it's fun.
Mm. Well, Halo isn't popular in Russia because like Xbox Originals was like mostly mythical consoles back in the
Right,
day.
right. Let's see. I'm sure there's something else I have that's multiplayer. I'm confident that that's true, and yet... Oh, I could jump back into Ready or Not at some point if I really want to keep getting my ass kicked by AI. Or I could
I
do that
have
against
to Ready or
other
Not.
players. Only
Ready or
modern
Not
game you want
is,
to play is Battlefield 6, because it's giving 2010s vibes. That's fair.
Ready or Not is now hated.
I mean, it just came out on the Xbox not that long ago. I downloaded it. I played it for a little bit. I could play more, but
There's a reason why. Before it came out on other platforms like PlayStation and Xbox, it was completely censored free, but because like Sony and others like we want you to censorship this game,
Oh,
so they
Christ.
censored uh, like censored many of aspects that made the game popular. Like it's like the game follows like realistic SWAT simulator, so there's a lot of like fucked up things that SWAT like has to deal with. So they censored a lot of it. So and people like this game is about realism and how fucked up the world is, and they censor it.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
So yeah, that's why it's like probably still has like many negative reviews on
Ooh, if
Steam.
I
I'm gonna
really wanted
check
to
it.
get destroyed on stream, I could play Stellaris multiplayer. That would end
Fuck.
very badly for
I
me.
hate this game.
Stellaris?
Yeah, basically, I had a friend who almost forced me to play this game almost every day. I played this game like for 20 hours on Steam record, and I hated every single second of it because I
I
didn't want this
I
game.
will say, I had a good time playing that game with my dad and my sister. I would absolutely not want to play against any other human players because I know that I'm not that good at it.
Mm.
Shit, I could get back into Titanfall 2 multiplayer. That was a great game.
It's still alive?
Oh yeah, I mean, nobody's made something that like really directly competes with exactly what it's offering. So, and I mean, shit,
Mm.
people still play, Modern Warfare from like Call of Duty 4 from 2007. Like those servers still have some people on them. So there's always somebody who's doing something like that. Other than that, yeah, I don't. I guess I could play XCOM 2 multiplayer, but honestly, the single player campaign's what you go to XCOM 2 for. And if I was gonna do that, I'd probably do it on the PC rather than the Xbox. I will say I'm sort of interested in checking out Mafia: The Old Country. Like that's Oh, Nussrat, you deleted Call of Duty 4 a few months ago. Yeah, it's a phenomenal game. I go back to it every few years or so. It was probably the best Call of Duty campaign, and then the best multiplayer was probably Modern Warfare 2, in my opinion. Though my opinion should probably be revised, given that I have not played every Call of Duty between then and now. So. I know that there are some that I missed that I don't care that much about having missed, but it's entirely possible that my decision on what is the best Call of Duty may not hold much weight, given that I don't know entirely what I'm talking about. Won't believe how much COD 4 is rooted in here. Oh, in the sense of the locations? Yeah, Mafia the Old Country looks cool, and I've enjoyed Mafia games up till now, but I definitely don't know if I'm dropping $50 on it right now. I will almost certainly buy that later for cheaper. And granted, I was one of the relatively few people who really, Oh, you mean the player base for Call of Duty 4, I see. Ton of people in your area playing, Call of Duty 4? There were a whole lot in the US, too. I don't know how much of that, player base is still around, but certainly I was one of many people when I was, I want to say 12 when that game came out. Even got a picture of you in a PC club doing the wet work mission. Oh, that's awesome. That is a great mission, too. Still tons of players. Might download CS 1.6. I mean, yeah. The Counter-Strike is still very, very fucking popular. Yeah, I don't know what percentage of Steam traffic Counter-Strike is these days, but it's not as small as you would think. Play 009 sound system in the background? Sure. Something about old games. Yeah, I mean, some of it is that new games come out and it takes forever for them to be, like, patched correctly. Like, I will say, like, I came into Stalker, I think, at a good time. Like, the 1.5 patch was a pretty major update. And so, like, 6 months down the line from the actual release date, the game was more or less in the state that they wanted it in, which makes me not enormously inclined to play new games on release, generally speaking. Though there are a few developers from whom I will happily jump in day one, like Naughty Dog tends to really polish shit before they put it out. But there are also games where, like, I don't want to be there on the first day of a new Call of Duty server or Battlefield because I know that the servers are always overloaded, so it's not fun, it's just annoying. I'm trying to think what game I last played, like, on release. And it was probably something that came out on Game Pass. I don't know if I played Doom the Dark Ages, like, on release, but it was pretty close.
Hey Jeremy, I'm probably gonna go. Maybe we'll return sometime later. So yeah.
Okay, no problem. I'll tell you, I may wrap up the stream a little early. Like I said, I've been up since about
Oh.
midnight my time, so I may call it at like 2.5 or 3 hours. So, if I'm not here when you get back, sleep well. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Appreciate the
Yeah.
music.
You too. Yeah. No problem.
Bye. Okay, Nussrat, you were playing IGI 2 a few days ago, got too hard and you deleted it. Alright, now I have to look this up. I'm not sure what IGI is. Covert Strike. February 2003. Okay, yeah. I've sort of kind of vaguely heard of this, but I've definitely never played it. It reminds me of Mercenaries, or not Mercenaries. Maybe Mercenaries. What is the fucking game called that I'm thinking of? Soldier of Fortune. Back in the day. Soldier of Fortune was what year? 2001. So yeah, IGI would have been a couple years after that. I'm not ending the stream now. No. I just probably will be in the next half hour, 45 minutes. I try and do 4-hour streams. Surprisingly good for the date it got released. That's cool. One of my favorite games from that era is Return to Castle Wolfenstein, which I still think is fun and playable. No, I'm not looking to wrap up now, but as I was telling Yvonne, I've been up since midnight my time, so I'm pushing. I don't know. How does time even work? I've been up for 20 hours, and I can go for longer if I need to. I'm just not sure how long I can keep it entertaining. But yeah, I mean, if I were looking to get into like multiplayer way back in the day, uh, like I could actually still get into like Warzone. I think that's still somewhat popular. And I played some, and I was actually reasonably good at it. Back in like what 2019 when that came out. I played a bunch, but it's also a lot of Might go back to Mercenaries. Sure. Mercenaries 2. The thing I remember about Mercenaries 2 is a shitload of airstrikes. I remember you getting tons and tons of airstrikes in that game and a bunch of destructible environments. It has been probably over 15 years since I played that. I don't remember when that came out, but yeah, it's been a while. I played it at a friend's house. You want to talk about my old games that I fucking loved was Battlefront 2 that released in 2005. I stayed up at my friend's house. We played that like all night, multiple nights. Oh, it was such a good time. That game was not perfect, but it was really fucking good. One of the games that has the deepest impact on your life is Mafia 2. Mafia 2 was a great, great game. Um, I found that Mafia 1 was old enough that I couldn't comfortably play it by the time I had checked out Mafia 2, but then they released a remaster for Mafia 1 that was very, very good. And then I played Mafia 3 and liked Mafia 3, but I also recognized that it came out like shortly after I got injured and the repetitive side quests were a thing to do. So I understand why a lot of people didn't like those, but it was ideal for me at the time that it came out. But yeah, Mafia 2 is so, so good. Which is part of what makes me want to check out Mafia the Old Country. Because 1904 Sicily is a really interesting sort of era to explore. I just don't feel like spending $50 right now. The main menu music, yes. Yeah, that whole game is very, very good. The only okay, I take it. Okay, the one thing that sucks about that game is if you're trying for the achievement to collect all the Playboy magazines, there are a couple that are in fucking annoying spots. Like the one that's up on the goddamn roof in the winter where you have to like make the jump with a car and then stop using the building. Like you have to crash into the chimney because if you don't, you will overshoot. Ugh. I love that game, but god, the collectibles were terrible. But yeah, Vito and Joe were great characters. Never went for the collectibles. Yeah, no, don't. You have happy memories of that game. Just keep them in place. Just never bother going after the collectibles in the game. It's not worth it. What you did was wear the long coat, long jacket, and took a walk in the snow? Hell yeah. The trench coat looks so good. It's one of those things that, like, I wish I could get away with wearing now, but A, global warming means it's fucking hot, and B, you look like you're gonna kill someone if you're in a trench coat now. It's just not an acceptable, form of dress, generally speaking. It looks very cool, but, like, people think you're up to something. As if you were a detective trying to solve a murder. Okay, so funny story. Have you ever played LA Noire? It was a Rockstar game, came out in 2013. Because it's set in the same era, and you play a detective in Los Angeles, just post World War II. Um, and if you like Mafia, I think you'll like LA Noire. Pretty similar vibes, except you're playing, for the police instead of for the criminal element. Definitely recommend it. Oh, I was wrong. It wasn't 2013. It was 2011. See after the stream? Yeah, sure. If you need a link. This is the game I'm talking about. But yeah, great, great game. Fairly dark, but I really enjoyed it. But basically, you start as like a beat cop and work your way up through the LA Police Department, through homicide, go after a serial killer kind of things. And it's all about like detective work. So you have to find clues at the scenes. Oh, you like the dark theme? Yeah, you'll dig it. Um, you have to find clues at the scenes and link them to why the suspects are lying or telling the truth, and do interrogations with them. It's great. Strongly recommend it if you have the opportunity to check it out. Like the lore, yeah. I think if you dug Mafia 2 for the 1940s vibes, LA Noire is right up your alley. Okay. Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think of other games that were like in that era. Yeah, I think that's like all of the ones set in the U.S. I can think of. There was a World War II game set in the 1940s called The Saboteur, where you play through wartime Paris as an Irish saboteur, which does share some of the vibes, but really doesn't have the American Italian thing going on, which both LA Noir and Mafia do really well. LA Noir it is. Hell yeah. Let me know how you like it. I think that you will have a good time. Trying to think if I've got anything else to talk about prior to wrapping up the stream. And I'd like to keep the stream going for a little bit longer, but I honestly don't have much. Okay, like 4 times today I've seen this headline about the world's ugliest dog crowning a dog called Petunia, and I'm like, why is this news? Why is this a thing that I'm reading about? I know for a fact it's not that slow a news day because I've read the other news. Still no fights on the Shogun show? Okay. I will get there eventually. I look forward to watching it. One important character slit his belly, though. Oof. Yeah, of all the ways that you could go out of this world, seppuku is not high on my list. That I don't care how honorable the death is. That shit looks like it fucking hurts. I'm good, thanks. Like, if I gotta pick a way to go, like, nitrogen asphyxiation has to be it, right? Because there's a funny thing with the human brain where, like, yes, we need oxygen to live, but our brain doesn't have, like, a meter for oxygen. It has a meter for carbon dioxide, and all it knows is that that's how committed they were. Yeah. All it knows is that you have too much carbon dioxide building up. So the thing that makes you like gasp for air isn't that you need to get oxygen in, it's that you need to get carbon dioxide out. So as far as nitrogen asphyxiation, it's a proposed way for like executions. Now, I am personally opposed to the death penalty, not because I don't think that some people need to be killed, but because I don't think the state should have that power. But nitrogen asphyxiation is about as uh, humane as you can get, because basically you just fill the room with nitrogen and it floods out all the oxygen and carbon dioxide, and you breathe in a couple of times, get no oxygen, but because you're not producing carbon dioxide with the oxygen, your brain doesn't know that anything's wrong, and you just kind of fall asleep and die. I'm not recommending that anyone do this, but it's one of the only ways that the human body can die without like knowing anything's wrong. Uh, it's a terrible response to, you know, the state wanting to kill people. Like, I would prefer that that was not a thing at all. But if it's gotta be done, like, it is vastly better than some of the things that my government is doing right now. So, there's a sort of poison that kills you by putting you to sleep first. So, what you may have heard of is basically the cocktail that they use to kill prisoners. And the problem is the cocktail that they use doesn't necessarily work without the person knowing what's going on. And so, because they're in a lot of pain, they'll like jerk around on the table. And the response to this was not to get something more effective, it was to add a paralytic so that they couldn't jerk around, but they're still in a ton of pain. Um, is there a sort of poison that kills you by putting you to sleep first painlessly? Uh, hey, theoretically, just about any opioid overdose would do it. Um, I dealt with a few people overdosing on like heroin that were perfectly happy to cross over to the other side, and were honestly kind of mad at me for putting Narcan up their nose and waking them up. But yeah, like, a lot of opioids overdoses are basically a painless way to die. In fact, there's a great deal of euphoria. Uh, Unfortunately, those drugs are highly illegal. Um, and so, if the state is going to kill prisoners, they don't have those. Which is stupid on several levels. One, why is it illegal? Just make it legal and tax it. Like, you could be making a great deal more money, and then people wouldn't be dying of fentanyl getting cut into their shit because the FDA would regulate it. Uh, but besides that, the primary aspect to consider is like it would be a much more humane way to go about handling that kind of thing. If we're, gonna keep killing people, like with the death penalty, which my recommendation would be do not, but people keep not listening to my recommendations, so I guess we're stuck with it. Yeah, God. Apparently, there is a lot of talk going on about Ukraine and the ceasefire that my president and the Russian president are trying to work out without the help of the Ukrainian president, which is fucking wild, but okay. Yeah, whole lot going on there. How's the work search? I mean, slow as usual. My time at the farm this fall is coming up, which I'm looking forward to, though it will definitely affect my stream schedule. I don't know exactly how. It'll probably push some of my streams back a little bit, because I get off my regular work right now at 5 o'clock at the latest. And then if I'm working at the farm, there will be days where I'm working till past midnight, so I just won't stream on those nights. That'll be every Friday, so that'll probably shift to like a Tuesday stream. And then the Sundays, there's one Sunday I know that I'll be working late, but I'll get off most Sundays at like 6:15. So probably that'll be a 6:45 or 7 o'clock stream on Sundays. Shouldn't affect too much, but it'll definitely affect the schedule a little bit. I'll have it updated soon before it all starts. I'm hoping that it doesn't, make too big an impact, but I know that I will be much more tired, so it may result in slightly shorter streams depending on what I'm up for after, 8 hours of work, and then on the 14-hour work days, I just won't stream afterwards, but that'll be Fridays and Saturdays primarily, so I don't stream Saturdays already, and it'll just be the Fridays that I'll shift to probably Tuesday. Here's hoping I can keep up with both. We will see. Yeah, I don't know what I'll be playing right after Soma. I may jump into Phobia. I may jump into another. I'm definitely in a. You like farms? Oh yeah. I mean, the place I work is great. One thing, it's 5 minutes down the road from my house. Excellent commute. But besides that, the people I work for are really great. More than any other boss I've ever had, they treat their employees like human beings. Hey, what's up, Krypton Stream? You are joining very shortly before I'm planning to wrap up, but I do appreciate you being here. Hey, Jay, how's it going? I just remembered that was you. We were just discussing the farm coming up and how it'll probably affect my stream schedule some, and we hadn't gotten to what will also probably affect our schedule for getting together and recording reactions. Speaking of which, how is the... Yeah, I know. Speaking of which, how is the VTuber model coming for you and Casper? Not to pressure you, I just am curious. It's gonna take a bit. Yeah, I figured that seemed complicated. And that's one of those things that, like, I got no... Why is Lamau censored on your end? I have absolutely no idea. That's an excellent question. Yeah, that's one of those things where, like, I am very excited to work on that reaction channel and do lots of stuff, but the art is entirely on you and Casper to get done because I cannot help with that in any way. I did just get another XLR cable and powered USB port, so when you have free time, you've been songwriting, scripting, video essay hasn't been the first thing you jump to. Yeah, totally fair. We're all trying to get various projects done, and it will happen because you really want to do it. Yeah, I mean, me too. That's where I would love to get together and watch another movie and finish up season 1 of The Expanse, so that we need to do one podcast, then movie, then the last 2 episodes of The Expanse, and then ideally we start the reactions from there. But we can't do that till the VTubers are functional. Because you pretty reasonably want to protect your privacy on the internet, and I probably should care more than I do. Honestly, think we should focus on the podcast, get that in a routine first before tackling the reaction half. That's fair. I would like to get the reactions to The Expanse, but we could also tackle other stuff. But that's, I mean, the real thing with the podcast is going to be like getting a few of them in the can, and then ideally marketing them on, I don't know, YouTube, and I don't know, what are you young people on TikTok? The Instagram? Can you tell I'm shit at marketing? Casper talking, do think it might be a lot to start up both simultaneously. That's fair. Don't think they're going to have the VTubers done before we finish The Expanse. When you say finish The Expanse, do you mean the entire series? Because there are 6 seasons. Like, I imagine that's going to take a little while. Unless we take a long time to finish The Expanse. Again, there are 6 seasons. So I'm okay not having it on the channel. Like, that's fine if we want to just talk about it. The young people are on TikTok. You are not one of those young people. Fair enough. Okay, this season. I thought that's what you were saying, but I was like, holy fuck. Are we talking 6 seasons? Why don't I dance on TikTok, Jeremy? Okay, well, let me start with, I can't dance. Like, physically. I's crippled. Forgot there were so many. Yeah, there's a lot of The Expanse. That's part of why I wanted to have 2 series going side by side, so that if anybody wasn't super interested in one, they might be interested in the other, and then we have movies cycling every week. But yes, there are in fact a bunch of seasons of The Expanse. But yes, why don't I dance on TikTok? Let me list the reasons. Can't dance. Step 2. Oh my god, Jeremy, we should do a cover of I Don't Dance from High School Musical 2. Reminder that I don't sing all that well. But yeah, if you really want to do that as marketing, once you get the VTubers up and running, sure. I have no shame. That's fine. Let me grab some water here real quick. Not that song, but I actually do sing well. Okay, fair. I sing reasonably well as long as... Heard the Irish folk song sing along? Yeah, okay, I did do that. I sing reasonably well as long as I can play around in the baritone range. I do not sing along to Queen songs very well. Because Freddie Mercury was a contralto, and my voice don't do that shit. I was always listening to Aha's Take on Me. So I would sing along for a while, and then they would go for that high note, and I'm like, nope, can't do that shit. Yeah, you're a baritone. Obviously, you'll sound good in baritone range, not contralto. I mean, yeah, you can sing in your head only. I would kill some Sinatra type shit. Okay, yeah, fair. I actually do. Sinatra and Dean Martin, I can handle pretty well. I also handle old sea shanties pretty well because a lot of those were a cappella anyway. I want you to know that Luck Be a Lady Tonight is now stuck in my head just because you brought up Sinatra's name. I'm trapped forever. Oh, how did your oil change end up? We hadn't talked about that since you were on the stream Friday. Get wrecked. Yeah, okay, fair. Trapped here and I get hit with a get wrecked. I see how it is. Luck be a lady tonight. You got scared and didn't do it. Not of changing your oil, but you were in a random parking lot and it was dark and the paranoia kicked in, so you thought people were staring at you. Okay. Okay. I mean, serious question. Why were you doing this in a parking lot? Why not, like, at the house that you live at? I'm not saying you couldn't do it in a parking lot. I'm just not sure why that was the go-to. Because my stepmom is a freak and would be like, OMG, you're gonna get oil in the driveway. Oh. Yeah, I can't help you with that shit. You're gonna head out, Nussrat? Alright. Sleep well. Have a good one. Yeah, Jay, I'm going to text you and Casper tomorrow probably to see if you have any availability this week, which I know you might not. I know you're have a good one to start. I'll be at Nussrat. I'll be streaming again tomorrow at 5:30, continuing in Soma. But yeah, I need to text you and Casper, see if there's any availability coming up. Cause I know that y'all had some days that wouldn't work, and then I'm gonna be gone for like 5 days. So painful as it is, I'm not sure our next podcast is gonna be till like like late August, early September. This is what I miss from my DMing D&D days, is getting a bunch of adults in a room all at the same time. It was my favorite. To be fair, honestly, one of my biggest objections in that time when I was DMing was that people wouldn't fucking answer me, which you and Casper at least answer, like when I text. But I had several relatives that were just fucking bad at answering an email, and I was like, come on. I'm trying to make the goddamn game work. Skill issue? Yeah, I think more on their part than mine, but yeah, I don't disagree. Your swag is unmatchable. See, when you say shit like that, I just feel ancient. And it's not even fair for me to feel ancient because swag was like a thing when I was in high school. Like that was more recently come out, but it's not entirely reasonable for me to feel ancient. Yes, skill issue on their part. Can't help your Gen Z lingo. That's fair. I mean, honestly, I shouldn't complain. I am not Gen Z by virtue of 1 year. Like I'm a millennial barely. I'm pretty sure I was out of touch with my own generation the whole time. You literally talk like the TikToks that make fun of how Gen Z talks. This is mostly just a you thing. That's fair. I know multiple people who started saying words ironically. Skibbity Riz so Ohio. Okay, I kind of get the Skibbity Riz reference. Ohio, I got nothing. I am out of touch. I have no further information. But I remember back in like 2013 or 2012 maybe when YOLO became a thing. I knew multiple people who started saying that shit ironically and then became part of their lexicon. You're out of touch, you're out of time, but I'm out of my head when you're not around. Ohio is an insult. I mean, yeah, especially Cleveland. That's so Ohio, like Ohio's an adjective. Okay. I'd say I see, but I might be lying. Please tell me you got the song reference. Oh God, you gotta touch your head of time. My head when you're not around. Yeah, no, I knew it was a song. Is that Hall and Oates? Right, I think. Uh, Google is suggesting that I'm correct. Yeah, I should have assumed honestly that you were a Hall and Oates fan. I don't know that that's ever come up in a conversation between us, but yeah, that tracks. Oh, you typed it correct. I was looking at you typed correct, and with two E's and one R, and I was so fucking confused. Like my brain could tell it was wrong, but couldn't figure out why for a minute there. It's actually just that one song. You should listen to more. Okay. Hall Notes were quite popular. I know some of their stuff, but not a ton. Correct. I see. Kind of had that one coming, huh? '80s pop goes crazy hard. Yeah, I mean it depends on the pop, but I mean '80s pop, '80s hair metal. I'm a fan. Oingo Boingo, fuck yes. Toad the Wet Sprocket. Dead Man's Party by Oingo Boingo is so fucking good. Leave your body and soul at the door. Epic saxophone. Yeah, I think my favorite use of that was in the TV show Chuck, where a fight broke out at a funeral and they used that as the backing score. It was pretty excellent. Maybe it's trumpet. You know, honestly, it's been a little while. Oh, okay. Like I said, I'm gonna text you and Casper, see if we can get together sometime this week. I really do appreciate you hopping on stream. I have been awake since midnight last night, and I think it is probably about time for me to wrap up. If there's anything else, let me know. But I am fading over here. Though I do appreciate you replacing Luck Be Lady with Dead Man's Party. You're about to dip and go record a song? Okay, cool. Sounds good. I will text you probably tomorrow. If I haven't texted you by noon tomorrow, feel free to text me. Sleep boy. Alright. I will go do that. Thank you for being here. Thank you to Yvonne and Nussrat for being here today. Thank you to anybody watching this VOD in the future. Have a good day, night, evening, wherever you are. Stay safe, and goodbye.